Hey everyone, welcome back to AFTV. Apologies, this is a difficult one, Turkish. We're late because it's meant to be a 5 p.m. live. We're early because we scheduled it for 5:30.
Stick with early.
We're early. We're early. That's how good we are, T-Wall. We're early. Apologies. There was a lot of fallout from the World Cup, and of course, it'd be wrong if as a football channel we didn't talk about those things. But yes, the World Cup, you were just on the watch-along for DR.
Yep.
And it was, what the hell happened at the end? Just mad drama.
Korea scored in the 91st minute.
Yeah.
So that put them through on goals scored, is it?
Yeah, I think so. I think they had 2 more goals scored than Uruguay.
And then at that time, Uruguay needs 1 more goal to get through. They've already taken off Suarez and Nunes, and they put all their eggs in the basket for 2-0 is enough. And then, they open up a bit more. And to be honest with you, they open up and Ghana get a couple opportunities to kind of get a couple goals, which they couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. 2 goals for Ghana, I believe, would have been enough for them to qualify second. So, yeah, it was one of those mad ends. Not as mad as the end into the which group was it?
Was it Mexico, Argentina, or Spain, Germany?
The Spain, not as mad ending as that, but it was a mad ending nonetheless. A shame Ghana couldn't go through, but if there's anything, that they can take away from it is, I guess, seeing Suarez cry. It's his last World Cup.
You know what? Sorry, and I don't really normally say this about players or whatever, but I was all here for enjoying Suarez. And, when people reflect on the incident with Ghana in 2010, the handball and everything, it might be strange coming from me, but, he had to do what he had to do to help his team, right? But obviously Suarez, generates hate for many reasons. But there's just as a player, when they talk about players that you hated, if you played for you loved him, but if you played against you hated, there's always that as well with him. And Uruguay are out, and look, they've got some good players there. Nunes, Bentancur, the striking options they've had over the years. But South Korea, what a story for them, and I'm really happy for them.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, I mean, similar to Japan coming through their group, where Japan finished top. I mean, there's, when we talk about football, especially being based in the European country, we tend not to think outside of Europe. And if we do think outside of Europe, it's always South America are the next strongest. And that might be true. I'm not delving into the stats about it, or it might be true, but for me, it's always nice to see African teams get through, Asian teams get through, and surprise picks. Morocco finishing top of their group. Yeah, that's what the World Cup's about as well. I mean, I always look at the 2002 World Cup as my favourite reason being because Turkey, finished 3rd in the end, and we beat South Korea in the 3rd place playoff actually. So, for me, those moments matter as much as the big teams getting through and having tantalizing semi-finals and finals and whatnot. I think the beauty of the World Cup is partly because some of the nations and continents that you don't expect much from, being where you're based, you get a kind of better look at them. And look at Japan. They beat Germany and Spain 2-1. Germany and Spain were predicted to go through that group. Yeah. South Korea, similarly, everyone predicted Portugal and Uruguay to go through. In the end, Ghana had a chance, South Korea make it. I like that as well, man. The World Cups always need that.
Yeah. I mean, the last 3-4 days of the tournament, and really since Tuesday, have been absolute carnage. From Senegal getting the win that puts them through. The Argentina and Mexico games were unbelievable. I was in the studio. I wasn't on the watch on, but I was just on the side. And I mean, KG was absolutely cracking me up because with every bit of drama, he was just, did you see it? Yeah. He was lying back going, I am loving this. He was just here for the drama. And then he starts going, yellow card.
KG's a legend, man.
No, he is absolutely. And he was just, I'm here for the heartbreak. I'm here for the drama. And he's so right. That's exactly what we got. Let's cast our mind back to some of those games. Yeah. I have a very unpopular opinion. I voiced this on my little channel where I have some very what's the word? Not committed. What's the word? Loyal. We have some very loyal followers who watch my videos, and thank you to all of you. But obviously AFTV is a bigger platform, so should I be sharing this opinion? I'm going to anyway. You know the penalty they gave on Messi. The Szczesny.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying it was a penalty. That's what they gave in the end. But everyone was outraged by it. I could kind of see why they gave it.
I said the same thing in the WhatsApp group, and then people tried to dismiss me and say, how can you think that? I just thought to myself, it's like a late tackle. You know, the guy swung his arm at it. Messi got to the ball first. He gets hit in the face. You know, if that's a tackle outside the box from a defender or a player, outfield player, and it's a foul. You know, he was a couple seconds late to it. It was a foul.
I couldn't agree more with you.
That was more a penalty than Ronaldo against Ghana.
I agree, and there wasn't anywhere near as much.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's one of those awkward things that you don't see as often. Like, a keeper is meant to come out and claim it. Like, is it his fault? But I'm like, it's like any challenge. I always think Hazard was the biggest beneficiary of this. You know, when a winger quickly gets to a ball before the defender, and so they've toe poked it away, and technically they've got there first, but they've only got there first because they've gone in so quickly that they've not even maintained control of the ball, so they end up just almost blasting it away.
Yeah.
The defender tackles them, and it's seen as a foul for that attacker.
Yeah.
But my thing is, he never actually had control of it anyway, so it's a coming together really, but they still give the foul away to the defender because they didn't get to the ball. So how is this any different? Szczesny comes for it, Messi goes for it, Szczesny doesn't get there, but he gives him a fist in the face.
And it was a wild swing of the arm. I actually think Szczesny knew he wasn't getting to it and was more intent on putting Messi off by kind of wildly swinging his arm, trying to get it, but knowing that if he doesn't, he hopefully puts Messi off. Instead, he hits him in the face. I don't think he meant to hit him in the face. But when you're wild with your swing, like you are wild with a tackle, you always leave the risk that, the opponent gets to it first, and then you give away a free kick, a penalty, a foul. You
know, the only reason I would agree with those who say it's not is, you know, when a striker gets their shot on goal and then they're collided with, and ultimately it's like, okay, the challenge didn't impact the shot, if that makes sense. So Messi got his header away and it was off target, then he got it in the face. That for me starts to feel more like coming together rather than a late tackle. What I mean is, if Messi was heading it or looking to head it and then the foul impeded his ability to head it, then maybe... Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Maybe I'm overthinking it. But let's see what everyone's saying. Dave Jordan, trying to justify terrible refereeing decisions is James's favourite pastime. You know what? He's not wrong. What else we goes? William says, I'm Japanese, conflicted about Tomiyasu. Want him to play, but want him fit for Arsenal. Listen, let me say this.
You're doing all right without him, man. Don't worry.
Well, that's true. It's been brilliant, actually, when he's been coming on.
Yeah.
But the one thing I say is, if he's playing well enough that he still belongs in that team, listen, World Cups, man, enjoy them. Get him in that team if he's fit to play. If he's not fit, you got lots of good players, you stick with them. And they've been doing the job until Tomiyasu comes on for the last bit, all that. But if he's fit, play him. Absolutely play him. And listen, it's a shame for us, Arsenal, but, you know.
The national team don't care about Arsenal.
Absolutely not.
So,
what else are people saying about that decision? Because I had to remember, nonsense, never a penalty, says Ant. And I absolutely respect your opinion. I know that me and Turkish are in the minority of people when it comes to that decision and whether it should have been given or not. But explain to us why. Like, what? Because no one's actually been able to... All I've heard from people is, but the keeper's allowed to come for it. Yeah, and a defender's allowed to take a wild swing at the ball, as long as he gets it. If he doesn't, it's a red card.
It's a risk, yeah.
Yeah, Ryan Shawcross, if you got that ball against Ramsey, it's a good clearance.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. Ramsey gets there first, he breaks his leg. It's a red card horror tackle. Like, timing is everything. Timing is although the way Shawcross came in was wild, so it's a very bad example. But you get my point. Every tackle can be seen, it's split seconds that defines it from being a good tackle or an awful tackle. Some are just completely reckless and they're ridiculous and they're out to hurt opponents. But generally, most tackles are honest, and that's how we judge them. So I don't know why we don't judge goalkeepers in the same way.
No, I agree. Look, who was it? Thiago and Jesus for our penalty against Liverpool.
Yeah,
I think Thiago was going for the ball. He misses a millisecond late. Gets Jesus. It's a similar situation with Szczesny and Messi. You know, he was close to it. He didn't get it, but what did he get? He got Messi's face.
Yeah.
Is it a foul? It's a soft one, 100%. And if
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And if I go by the football I grew up on, very soft, and I tell Messi to just get up and keep it moving. But football's changed an awful lot, as we've spoken about in a live recently. So based off of modern day football, you can't wildly swing a foot at the ball. So you shouldn't wildly be able to swing an arm at the ball either.
Well, this is it. So Harry in the comments says, never a pen, not a foul. What could the keeper have done? It could have not come out. But that's the decision. Goalkeepers have to make the decision that every single football player has to make as well, which is, I'm going to go for this because I think I'm going to win it. And if I don't, I face the consequences for not winning it. You can't say, what could you...
If it was okay, take Szczesny out of the equation. I don't know any of Poland's defenders, but take Szczesny out of the equation.
Yeah.
If it was a player, yeah, and the ball's coming over his head, and the player doesn't even look at Messi once, and the player's gone and lifted his leg as high as Haaland did for that goal he scored in the first couple of weeks of the season. He misses the ball, Messi headers it, and then following the header, Messi's head goes into the boot. No one will be arguing about it's a penny.
Yeah.
Because it's a boot. Oh my God, studs. Oh, I can't. Because it was a hand, and Dave Jordan says Szczesny was closer to picking Messi's nose than fouling him. He's right. It was a very soft foul, but by modern day football standards, it was a foul. It wasn't a boot. It was just a flailing arm, and that's why people tend to look at it and say, "Nah, very soft, yes, but very soft." We've seen very soft penalties in the last 2 years because of VAR and the situation.
And I think my big message in all this is, it doesn't matter to me. If that wasn't given, I wouldn't be sitting here going, Turkish, can you believe they didn't give that? Like, whatever. But I find it really interesting what people choose to get outraged about and what not. Yesterday, there was all this, the Japan second goal.
Oh, yeah.
All this, it was all over social media, it was all over commentary, punditry, everything. And it's just like, there was one picture I saw, it didn't take me long, I saw it on Twitter. I was like, oh, it's in. It's in.
Yeah.
And then I'm arguing with people who, in fairness, got the rule wrong, and they're like, oh yeah, my bad. And they're saying, but look, the ball's not touching the line. It doesn't have to touch the line. It has to be in line with the line. Like, and there's stuff that is, like the penalty they didn't give Croatia in the Belgium game. They didn't give it. And they gave a penalty, and then it was like, where's the offside? Surely the technology is meant to determine whether it's offside. Yeah. And it's like, no, they're trying to figure out whether that player's interfered. That's the subjective part. It's like, I don't understand why certain things are bringing so much outrage out of people, and other things aren't as much. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
But sometimes there's agendas linked to it, and if it's a Ronaldo, then you got the Messi lovers agenda. If it's Messi, you got the Ronaldo lovers agenda, and if it's Ghana, you get the Nigeria lovers agenda. Nigeria, Ghana lover. There's always agendas in football. There's always a certain group that's gonna be waiting for moments like that to pick it apart. And I think that's what it comes down to. I think if you look at Croatia, what are you talking about? Croatia, Belgium. How big is the online fan base of Croatia? How much noise do they make? Not that I'm aware of it. Not much. Similar with Belgian fans online. Whereas if you look at Ghanaian fans, if you look at Argentinian fans, if you look at Portuguese, more so Ronaldo fans, they got a massive loyal fan base, supporter group. So anytime something goes against them or for them, they're ready to argue for and against.
One of the biggest, Sami here says, it wasn't a pen as Messi got his shot off. Sami, thank you. That is the only comment I've seen so far, and the only explanation I've had, and I referenced this earlier in the show. That's the only thing that makes me probably lean towards it not, because ultimately he got his shot away. And I'd like to see coming togethers and contact in football be allowed more, if that makes sense.
But was he hampered by Szczesny's wild swing?
Okay, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
And that comes into it as well. He tried to get it off, but, he might have had one eye on the hand coming towards him, and maybe that put him off a little. Maybe not.
Yeah. Again, like, as we're discussing it, I'm not sitting here trying to convince everyone it definitely was a penalty. I'm trying to understand why there was so much outrage at the fact it was given. Like, there was so much. Now, I thought the Ronaldo dive against, was it Uruguay?
Ghana.
Was it Ghana? Ghana. Yeah. The Uruguay, the Ronaldo one, for me, was far less a pen. That's more... allow contact in football.
Yeah.
He's side by side. and he's gone over.
Yeah,
I think that's the kind of was it Salisu?
Yeah,
that's the kind of contact I want to be allowed in football.
Yeah.
But no, there wasn't that much said about it.
Not a wild arm swinging or a wild leg swinging. That's different.
Like, right?
That's different.
That's what surprises me. That one generates all this conversation and discussion and drama. Both were given as pens, and the other's kind of overseen. And then the thing I always hear is not all contacts are foul. But look at the way people are reacting.
It's a mess.
Anyway, I actually think largely the officiating's been quite good in the tournament. Largely.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. I'd say so. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I even like the extra added time because it makes sense. It helps put off people wasting time with throw-ins and corners and all of this. What have you seen?
Carl says, so James just wants keepers to stay on the line. Yes, and I also want defenders to never tackle, and I also want no one to ever touch each other ever. Just wait till the ball lands at your feet. I mean, who are we talking to here?
There's no balance. On the internet, there's no balance. I'm telling you. You say one thing and they'll take it the whole other way.
Like with outfield players, goalkeepers should be judged the same way. If you come for the ball, if you attempt to make a tackle, you should win it. If you don't, it's probably going to be a foul. That's true of all 20 players on the pitch, but people are telling me that it should be different for the two in goal. That's all I'm saying. That's why I'm asking why so much outrage. And then you get comments like that. So he wants me to stay. I just want keepers to stay on their line. Oh, I don't think what I'm saying is that difficult. But I mean, I don't know. No. I don't. And by the way, this is not. People disagree. That is so fine. Like if people disagree, because as Sammy really well put said, he got his shot away. So ultimately, Szczesny didn't impede him. It's a coming together. I get that. Cool. Don't give the pen then. If that's you think the overriding point.
So how about if someone gets their shot away and then gets a flying kick into the chin?
So
is the argument? He got his shot away though. You can't call that.
Do you remember the Lacazette one against Sanchez? Do you remember North London derby? Sanchez. We got a penalty at the Emirates. There was no Davinson Sanchez, Tottenham. There was no fans in the ground. Do you remember?
And how was it?
Do you remember Lacazette went for a left foot shot, but he kind of swung at it and missed. But Sanchez kind of landed into him with a follow through. You could say what Sanchez meant to do. He's got to try and block it.
Yeah.
He's got to try and make a challenge. He's got to try and do something. Yeah, but he got it wrong. Mm-hmm. So they gave the pen. I don't really know why we judge them differently.
Exactly that. I mean, someone here said, the Chronicle says, guys, keepers take out players all the time without touching the ball. It's allowed. It's not a pen. But is that right?
Say that one more time.
Guys, keepers take out players all the time without touching the ball. It's allowed. It's not a pen. But is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Why do keepers get that benefit of that? Because I'm not against you. The keepers tend to get that benefit in and around the box, especially corners coming in. If you cause a bit of problems physically to keepers, referees tend to blow their whistle. Soft fouls for keepers get given all the time. Four keepers get given all the time. So,
and what was the attacker meant to do? Not go for the ball.
Not go for it. Not jump for the ball.
Yeah, don't jump for the ball.
Exactly.
No, jump for the ball. Go for it.
More
but
often
obviously,
than not,
if you catch the keeper and you don't get the ball, you're going to be penalised for that. We see that all the time. Carl says, you just said the keeper had no right to come out. I don't think I ever said that. I said, don't come out if you're not going to win the ball.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to, don't clatter into the player.
It was a wild swing of his arm. At the end of it, you can come out and put him off, but the wild swing ended up hitting Messi's face. Whether it was big contact or not, it ended up touching his face. So in this modern day, a player goes down, holding, VAR comes in, checks it. Oh, he got hit in the face. A millisecond after he headed the ball, impeded.
Dave says, if Messi and a defender had both jumped for the ball and a defender... Sorry, let me read this again. Carl said, I did, lol. Well, maybe I don't think I've ever said that keepers should never come off. Did I say keepers shouldn't ever come off the line? I don't think I ever did.
You didn't say that.
Dave says, if Messi and a defender had both jumped for the ball and a defender's hand had made the same contact, it wouldn't have even been discussed as a penalty.
It actually would. It actually would. What are you saying? If James is Messi and I'm a defender and I'm trying to go for the ball but I miss it and I go like that into James's face, that's gonna be given as a pen.
Well, it's also two things. If it's a wild swing of the arm and you've caught, then that probably is discussed. But the other difference is keepers are using their arms to win the football. They're using it to try and make a challenge in which, so they've got control on what they're doing to try and win that football. But defenders, a flailing arm is different. That's used for momentum. That's not used to make a challenge, if that makes sense. Listen, I actually didn't want to spend that long on this topic because I actually don't care as much as it sounds like I
don't
care.
Either. I don't care either.
But it's what I do care about, and I'm sure I'll get the James is rattled in the comments now. What I do care about is when people just say, never a pen, rubbish, nonsense. What are you talking about? That's cool. Tell me why. Just explain to me. Because I know that 99%, I saw Jamie Carragher's tweet, I saw other people's, I know that 99% of the world believe that's not a penalty. I'd just like to understand why one gathered so much media attention and the other, which for me is a much better example of contact being taken out of the sport in the Ronaldo Salisu one, is kind of just brushed off as well. You see them given. I don't really get why it brings that kind of discussion. Anyway, let's talk about other stuff World Cup related, because we've absolutely gone in for 20 minutes on that topic. Okay, let's talk about Tomiyasu though. And we mentioned the minutes he's got and the appearances and all that, but how amazing it is for Japan. Again, we touched on it, and just like what a World Cup he's having, man. This is someone, and I know he's not playing as much as he'd be like to really. He'd like to be fully fit and playing 90 minutes of every game, but it's an amazing story that Japan have beaten Spain and Germany 1-0 down in both, and actually, at least on the stats front, outplayed in both, but showed amazing character and real quality to come through and win those games and finish top of the group.
Yeah, I mean, like we mentioned before, it's nice to see nations, countries that go through that were probably looked at as the teams to go out. Regarding Tomiyasu, of course, considering Japan are through, it's kind of bittersweet. It's sweet that his nation's made it through and they're they're ruffling feathers, beating two big nations in Germany and Spain in a footballing sense. But at the same time, playing 60 minutes across 3 games is probably not ideal for him. Being an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't want him risk that much. And Japan, seem to be doing well without him. But like I said, I guess it's bittersweet. And what does he dwell on? Because he's been a big part of them, I guess, coming up to this World Cup. So if Japan do well and get far, he's still been a part of it, regardless of minutes in the tournament.
Yeah.
But obviously, it'll be good for Japan as well as Arsenal to keep his fitness concerns kind of not under the radar, but protect him. I know everyone's talking about protecting for Arsenal. 100%, I agree with that. But Japan need to protect him for themselves as well, because the injuries he's picked up over the last year, they are quite concerning.
There was a great tweet. Let me just have a little look if I've got this all right. So, social media of soccer media, Geki Saka, I hope I pronounced that right. They are referenced by Doc on Twitter, and the quote he's put from Tomiyasu on stopping Ansu Fati and Jordi Alba, he said, "I'm playing in the Premier League, so I was able to show what I can do on a day-to-day basis. I think I can do even better. I was able to play over 20 minutes and it was good conditioning adjustment." I like how sort of unfazed he is. I'm just referencing that, guys, from where I got it on Twitter, because I hadn't seen the quotes elsewhere. And yeah, I just like the way he's talking in that quote there, where he's just sort of saying like, look, I'm playing in the Premier League. I want to show the world what I've been doing at a level he clearly deems very high. We all know that, and we know the quality in the Premier League. And I quite like the idea of him talking about Spain as good conditioning adjustment. It's quite cool, isn't it? Yeah, had a good work, had a good sort of stretch of the legs.
How many minutes did he get?
20 minutes, I think.
Yeah, 20-something minutes, isn't it? No, he's got confidence.
Yeah,
100%. And when you look at the way he came in and many people doubting him, he turned it around pretty much with his first few games for Arsenal. And it's been an unfortunate year for him, calendar year 2022, because the injuries started in January. He was out for a prolonged period, but Japan make the World Cup, Arsenal top of the league. He's been favoured at the left-back position ahead of Akira Tierney, who's loved at the club. So as much as injuries have caused him problems, his confidence and his natural ability and quality on both feet, it's been there for all of us to see. Of course, like I said, you'd want him to play games for Japan and come back fit, having played an integral part, 90 minutes week in, week out. The games are more thick and fast than that. But it's not to be. Just enjoy it. It's not often you get to a World Cup, let alone qualify through a group stage, for the lesser nations, let me say.
And also, And also take the it'd be very easy for Tomiyasu. I've got no doubt he's got an amazing attitude. I think when you hear him speak and the way he approaches the game, like, you know, I've got no doubt he's got an amazing attitude. But let's say he is behind the scenes feeling disappointed at how much he's playing and the injuries and all that. You know, I'd want to say to him, look at the last year and a half you've had. You know, the move to Arsenal from Bologna.
Yep.
Loved at this club. You know, really kind of, the fans have taken to him so much. You know, the performance against Liverpool is outstanding. The levels that Arsenal have gone up in that time. Now playing at a World Cup and then seeing your team beat Spain and Germany to top spot and securing a place in the knockouts. I mean, just reflect on the last 18 months is pretty bloody amazing,
exactly.
You know?
Depends what you focus on, doesn't it?
How old is he? 23? I think we signed him at 22,
young,
so he's probably about 23 now. You know, maybe turning 24 soon. You know, he's got so much to look forward to, but that is quite an 18 months. And, you know, I'm sure he's off somewhere, somewhere, he's in Qatar. I'm sure he's off sort of absolutely appreciating the bigger picture, but if there's any part of him that's disappointed, I just think he should really hold his head high and be so proud of what the last a year and a half has been.
Yeah, club and country.
Absolutely. Let's see what people are saying. There was a great comment that I want to read out from Nick Shears. He says, if a player fouls someone after the play is over and it doesn't affect the outcome of the play, then maybe a card could be sufficient, but a penalty doesn't seem right in a situation like this. Nick, I love you, and this is why I love comments like yours there. We clearly disagree, we clearly see it differently, but I could completely get where he's coming from on that.
Yeah, I understand that.
You know what? Maybe a foul, maybe a yellow card's all right because that was a bit reckless.
The only thing is,
but it didn't outcome the footballing part.
The only thing is, you'd start getting extra analysis in terms of, did he put him off having that shot, or having that header?
Yeah.
And I'd say Szczesny did, so it would still be a penalty even in that scenario. But I know what he means in other scenarios.
Yeah,
I get it.
Exactly, and that's called a discussion, people.
Did you see the Brazil lineups out? Yeah, sorry.
Well, that is what a lot of this live show was going to be centered around. Is Martinelli going to get start? So is it out?
Yep.
Is he starting?
Yep. Martinelli, Jesus, and Anthony. That's the front three. Well, we ain't got a third one to go in there, so we'll take the two.
Rafinha, can we claim him? Maybe in January. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Makes sense that they make the change. We'll go through the 11s in a sec. Let's get these super chats.
Yep.
Lito says, if one of our players win the World Cup and then come back and win the Prem, would they be in contention for Ballon d'Or? And if so, which player?
I'm going to work on and come back and win the
I think the only ones who could be us is like Saka, because he's the only one who is playing at a level and playing week in, week out for England and playing week in, week out for Arsenal. Like Tomiyasu could win the Premier League and the World Cup. But if he's not starting over Ben White and Zinchenko, he just can't win the Ballon d'Or, can he? Saliba the same. If he's starting week in, week out for Arsenal, but he's not for France.
And it's how important you are to those trophies as well.
Yeah.
That's why Saka would be the only one that, if we win the Premier League and if England win the World Cup, then his name would be in and around the conversation. I still don't think he'd win it.
We see when Jorginho was in those discussions, it was because he was ultimately starting in a Chelsea team that won the Champions League and an Italy team that won the Euros. Had he not been starting week in, week out for Chelsea, but everything had still gone the way it had, you know, I just don't think he would have been discussed in that way.
And to be honest with you, he didn't deserve it anyway.
No, and I don't want team accolades to really define the Ballon d'Or. Now, if you, on an individual level, have done your bit, like Courtois in that final, and that kind of stuff, sure. But I just think it's got to be pure eye test, I think. Just look at the players. Who do you think's the best in the world, and go and vote.
Yeah, I think quality comes down to an awful lot. I mean, in terms of quality, I'd say Jesus is the one that, if he can have a 20-goal season, we win the Premier League, he steps up for Brazil tonight and then starting for them moving forward, and he scores 4 goals at the World Cup, Brazil win it, he scores 20 for Arsenal, and you've got a highlight reel from him as well. With Saka, listen, Saka's a great player, but in terms of highlight reels, Jesus is much better on the eye in terms of quality and, you know, dribbling past players in a way where, you know, you're looking at like, oof, we haven't had that in a long time. So quality-wise, Jesus, but productivity-wise, for club and country, it's going to be Saka.
I didn't even think Jesus. And as you were saying, I was going, yeah, of course. I mean, if he somehow broke into the starting 11 for, say he plays brilliantly today, scores a couple, and Tite goes, yeah, you know what, we're going to go for him in the next round of the knockouts, and then he keeps his place. Or maybe in Neymar's absence, he starts as a 10. Something I don't know, right? And they win the World Cup, and then Arsenal win the Premier League with Jesus leading the line. Then I think there's an argument for that. But would you be saying, do we genuinely believe after all that Jesus is the best player in the world? And I think that's what it's got to come down to. Yeah. I think it still takes a lot to top Mbappe and Messi for me. They're the two that I still think are the best in the world.
Well, Haaland might have something to say about it because his numbers are so great that if he has a record-breaking Premier League season and Man City win the Champions League, then Haaland's name has to be in there, if not the one to win it.
Well, Lewandowski, I think, was robbed of one, wasn't he? Because of the goals he scored, the trophies he'd won and all that, and they basically put it down to, well, there's no, you know, it's basically the pandemic year, so we're not going to have it. And you just thought, really? He deserved one. Yeah,
I mean, Messi and Ronaldo kind of not ruined the Ballon d'Or, but they were so great during this period that there was players that you look at and we might talk about in hindsight as players that might have deserved a Ballon d'Or. But when you look at what Messi and Ronaldo did over the years, listen, Lewandowski had a better year than Messi that year. I can't remember if it was statistically a better year in terms of goals and assists. I don't think so. But in terms of goals, assists and getting somewhere with the team, I think he pipped Messi. But Messi is Messi. It's hard to, when you're talking about an individual, it's hard to really look past a Messi. Well, not maybe now. Yes, now, because Messi's completely different. He's aging. He's not as much the focal point as he was before. So I think it's all coming to change now. I know Mbappe and Haaland seem to be the next two up, but I don't think the gap between an Mbappe and Haaland will be as big as the gap from Messi, Ronaldo and the rest.
Well, we've had Benzema, we've had Modric, so we have had recognition for other players.
Yeah, they've pulled a couple out the bag, yeah.
So
Benzema's came off the back of Messi, Ronaldo kind of being finished in a sense.
So let audience, comments, lovely viewers, help me out. Do we have now a Ballon d'Or and a FIFA Best award? I think we have two. I think
FIFA Best is the Champions League, no?
So from what I understand, the Ballon d'Or was FIFA's, but they've since lost it and then started the FIFA Men's Best, and so the Ballon d'Or still exists by the people who originally owned it, but it's not a FIFA product. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense?
Well, growing up, Ballon d'Or was...
It changed very recently.
Wait. Growing up, Ballon d'Or was UEFA's, no?
Ballon d'Or is currently France Football Mag, says Lewis.
Yeah, okay, France, whatever. And FIFA had World Player of the Year. And FIFA World Player of the Year was more renowned than Ballon d'Or.
Is that right?
Because Henry finished second. I keep on saying Henry finished second to Nedved in Ballon d'Or, and he finished second to Ronaldinho in FIFA World Player of the Year in the same year.
Which one's bigger?
At the time, it was FIFA World Player of the Year. The FIFA World Players of the Year has transitioned into Ballon d'Ors.
FIFA became involved in the award from 2010 to 2015 when it was rebranded as FIFA Ballon d'Or. So for 5 years, it was... here we go. Ballon d'Or, FIFA Best Awards. What's the difference? Thanks to AS Online. In the wake of 2016 split between FIFA and the soccer publication France Football, we now have two major individual awards ceremonies every year. Soon after, severed organisation ties with soccer magazine France Football, ending the world's governing body's involvement in the Ballon d'Or award. This led to the creation of FIFA's bespoke individual prize, the Best. Right. So they're two different things. So they made the best. So maybe what they had before existed. Then they did Ballon d'Or with France Football Mag, and now since leaving they split.
Yeah, Ballon d'Or was European, I believe, and the FIFA World Player of the Year was taking all continents into account.
Yeah, 2010-15 rebranded FIFA winners. Cool. All right. So which one do you care about then? Which one's the one to win?
Well, it's Ballon d'Or now because I don't know much about FIFA Best, but growing up, Ballon d'Or was always second to FIFA World Player of the Year. FIFA World Player of the Year was the one. And if I'm not mistaken, when you look at the Ballon d'Or list now and look back at it, I'm sure they've moved the FIFA World Player of the Year to that.
I don't know.
because I can't remember how it's looked at. Because what's Ronaldinho? He's got 2 FIFA World Players of the Year, but people tend to say he's got 2 Ballon d'Ors. No.
So here we go. So the 2021 The Best award went to Lewandowski. Picked up the prize for 2nd straight year in a ceremony they held virtually due to COVID-19. So they judge that off seasons, whereas Ballon d'Or does calendar years. So did we have a Ballon d'Or winner recently, didn't we? That was Benzema. Benzema won it a couple of weeks ago or whatever it was. Okay, so there too. I think all the previous Ballon d'Or wins, the ones that Messi and Ronaldo got in that time when it was FIFA's as well, I think they are still Ballon d'Ors because the Ballon d'Or brand existed before.
Yeah, it did.
And I think FIFA the Best is just a new thing now. And
they should pack it in though, man.
Let's see what everyone's saying. I don't think I've got much chance of winning either of them, to be honest, James, says Dave Jordan. Well, Dave, never say never, mate. There used to be the FIFA Ballon d'Or, says Hunter. I feel sorry for everyone in the comment section who's sitting there knowing the answer and they're just watching us try and plod through and figure it out. Big up James in Turkish, keeping me entertained on the train on the way to London for my DJ gig. Well, good luck with your show.
Enjoy,
man.
Let
us know where it is. I put money on Ghana and Portugal to win. They let me down. It's a shame for Ghana, man. Portugal. You got them in the sweepstake for DR. You think they're gonna?
They could do something. They got the quality to do it. And you look around the World Cup and no one's really standing out as wow.
No.
So
even Spain, who I've been super impressed by, they can't put it in the back of the net, really.
Yeah.
Apart from 7 against Costa Rica. Rodney says, I think Tomiyasu would be an ideal midfielder. I think he could do all right in midfield, but do you know what? He's such a good defender. Like, I think he's the best one-on-one defender we have in the squad. I know Saliba's amazing, but
there's an argument to be had.
I think Tomiyasu's just
there's an argument. You could take them inside, take them outside.
Yeah. All right. Well, Martinelli starts. Let's just give a quick reaction to that and just send our well dones, because I'm super proud of him. Getting a start at the World Cup is a massive deal. It's a good opportunity. They're through already, Brazil.
Yep.
I don't think they can lose top spot unless something mad on the goal difference front would happen.
It'd have to be crazy.
So he can just go out and enjoy it with Jesus. I need Jesus to get a couple goals. Not for me. I don't care for him.
Just I want him to get some goals, man.
I want him to.
I can see some Brazil fans online getting on his back. For what reason, I don't know, when he's not really an integral part of the side. But, online, moaning, all of that goes hand in hand. I just want him to get a couple goals and give the manager something to think about. And for us, give us something to cheer about.
It's a proper 11, that, isn't it? Even Edison. Oh, no. we have to go for Edison. Oh, Dani Alves. What a legend. Still definitely playing at what's this? Seriously, how many World Cups? It must be 5. 5, sure.
What is he, 39 now? 38, 39?
Must have played 5 World Cups. Militao, Bremer, should be Gabriel. Alex Telles, Fabinho, Fred, Rodrigo, Anthony, Jesus, Martinelli. Be interesting how Anthony does. Obviously, Man United fans loving him since he arrived. Scored the goal against Arsenal painfully. And he gets his start with Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli. So I'm really just hoping for Martinelli, man. Just go and enjoy it.
Another one, something to cheer about.
Yeah. What are you looking up there? You're looking up his World Cup.
I was trying to look at how many, but I don't know. I'm not as good as you searching the internet. So
let's have
I just wanted to see how many.
Very, very quick look. How many World Cups has Dani Alves played?
His debut was in 06.
2. 2010, 2014. I guess he didn't go to 2018. Brazil squad.
Nah, he didn't.
So if he'd played 2018,
would have been 4.
And he made his debut in 2006.
Yeah,
could have been 5.
Could have been.
But fair enough. So let's have a little look. So the players were.
How old is this guy?
He just wasn't in the squad. He just wasn't in the squad. I'm just having a little look now. Coutinho was in that last one.
Could have been injury.
Could have been injury. You
think England beat Senegal?
Yeah, but I think they make hard work of it. I think they make really hard work of it.
I think Senegal can beat them.
Extra time. Yeah, of course they can.
I think Senegal can beat them.
I mean, England didn't like it when USA stuck it on them.
Yeah. They're lucky there's no money, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and I have to say, I think every nation has shown that it's not so easy just to put 3 wins on the bounce and get on with life. So I think you've got to take the positives if you're an England fan. But Wales were bad.
Yeah.
Like, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Wales and Denmark are the 2 sides I'm the most disappointed with at this World Cup, because I've seen what they've done in previous tournaments. I look at their squads, and listen, I didn't expect big things, but I expected them to throw more of a punch, and they didn't really throw a punch at all.
Yeah, I thought Germany
in the games I watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, Germany, but there were moments at least where, yeah, I guess you're talking expectations. Yeah, Germany.
Quality you look at, but
actually Belgium. Oh,
yeah, you'd expect Belgium to go through, but not really cause much noise otherwise.
Who's been your disappointment of the tournament? Let us know. Rodney says that Senegal will beat England. Alves went on sabbatical in 2018, says Carl. Fair enough. And Carl, we're friends again. I know we disagreed on the pen front, but thank you for tuning in. And a loyal watcher as well of AFTV, so appreciate that. K-Hot says, get Kudus. Did he look good again today?
He did. He was the shining star for Ghana in this tournament. Yeah.
Hunter asks, any news on what Arsenal players are not... any news on what the Arsenal players not at the World Cup are currently doing? They're going to Dubai, but I don't think they've gone yet. I think they've just returned to training maybe on Monday, I believe it was. Saw that with Goon Lee. So yeah, they'll be off.
They're chilling
in the coming days. We'll be doing a watch along, guys, for all the friendlies here on AFTV. Don't let the World Cup distract you. And of course, we'll be talking about any transfer news as it comes up, because we know this Mudryk stuff is just bubbling around in the background. The last thing I was going to say is that we've got... Is the supporters club out, or is there one coming out? There's one out. Go check it out. That shows how much I know. Go check out the supporters club. And thank you to everyone who watched the video on Ben White that came out last night. Tomorrow night at 9 p.m, the same time as the White video, you will be seeing episode 2, part 2, episode 2 of this mini series. Turkish was there helping me put it together again today, and then episodes 3, 4, and 5 as well. Dave asked, Turkish thoughts on the new retro collection out today. I see he's a big fan.
They really are.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, they really are trying, innit? They really are trying. Hey, it's nicer than the other merch, but at the end of the day, it's just in all honesty, I don't like it.
I didn't love it.
I don't like it, but I prefer the old badge to the new badge. So I guess that's what clicks with me more. But in terms of design and detail and all that, nah, it's not really anything to write home about.
There's a few different questions here. Thoughts on the Ray Parlour new shop. I actually don't know the details about how long that's going to be up, or if it's a permanent thing, whatever. But listen, great. I'm all for more Arsenal around London and all that. Cool. I'm also on the whole releasing merch. Listen, it's near Christmas. We know they want a revenue stream. Fans want merch. I got no problem with that. The actual merch itself, the last 2 they've released, the training kits, I think yesterday or the day before, and now these, I'm not like itching to get any of them. I don't. But that's just my opinion. But I don't have a problem with their strategy and what they're doing. Like, it's what it is now, isn't it? But yeah, of course, might make a really nice Christmas gift, guys. I know a lot of people like you prefer the retro stuff, and there'll be some people who prefer that. The jackets are cool. I do think the jackets are cool, actually. And
they're baseball type of jackets.
Yeah, I think that was quite cool. And one of the jumps, I think the one Saliba was wearing.
I looked at the baseball jacket. I mean, the idea is cool, but the design's shit again. So it's just
let's wrap it up there. Let's wrap it up there before we get him going. Guys, go check everything out. We'll see you very, very soon. Of course, no lives over the weekend, but still plenty of content to come. Robbie is still out in Qatar. He's covering stuff. You've got the Invincible podcast will be out as well tomorrow. And obviously, any breaking news, anything, you will be getting Robbie's live reaction from Qatar as well. We'll leave it there. A big thank you, Turkish. Really appreciate it. And big up James in Turkish each and every time, says Simon. Simon, big up to you for always being there, always supporting the channel, as all of you are. We really appreciate it. Dave, Jordan, I know we have our back and forths, and you do absolutely crack us up. But as always, thank you for supporting the channel, as many of you do, guys, especially during a World Cup period where the focus is on Arsenal. But we appreciate everything as well. All right, guys, we're going to leave it there. Catch you on the next one.
Love.